All right. So, Happy New Year, everyone. See if we can get this year off to a good start. Okay. So, how's everyone doing today? Now, if you're on YouTube, Rumble, or X, it's a different feed than on TikTok, just the way I have to do it with my setup. So, let's see. We've got Ronnie coming in. Let's see if I can get Ronnie in. Ronnie, I just gave you the go ahead. Did you make it in?
Hey, Sam.
Hey, you're there. Happy New Year, my brother.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year to all our followers.
There we go. All right. So I'm setting up this new iPad. So let me know if it looks fine to you.
Looks good.
Okay, good. So big night last night, Ronnie?
Maybe for everybody else, not so much for me.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But I'm excited, man. For the next 19 days, the world is going to change.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, it's coming. It's coming like a freight train. Thank goodness. So let me see here. Let's get everybody here. Invite Alex. There we go. Alex, you there?
Happy New Year.
Morning, gentlemen.
Well, Happy New Year, sir.
Happy New Year. How are you, brother?
I'm good. I'm good. Just getting things going here. I bought a new iPad, so I'm setting up the new stream with that. It looks like it's working okay.
All right.
So everybody out there, Happy New Year. Let me know where you're jumping in from, what part of the country or what part of the world. Lorraine Gomez, Happy New Year. Same to you, dear. Same to you. So tell me in the chat what everybody did last night. Was it a late night? Are you recovering today? What's going on?
What did you end up doing, Alex? Party hardy?
Actually, I was live on TikTok from 10 p.m. Central Time until probably 12:30 Central Time, playing music with my turntables and entertaining the masses. Apparently, I'm a creator now.
Yeah, if you've never seen it, Ronnie, you got to jump in on one of his, man. He's got some great music.
I got to check that out.
So let's see. We've got a few people. Let's see. Bonnie Fink from Montana, welcome. We have Lorraine Gomez from Florida, welcome. Nick Schreier from North Myrtle Beach here, wonderful. Chris Pond from Texas. Slim from Happy New Year, Florida. Lorraine Gomez, Boynton Beach, Florida. We've got Sasha Girl from Houston, Texas, welcome. Subi Q, Happy New Year, all. Lisa, Happy New Year from Collinsville, Virginia, welcome. Annie RN from Kalamazoo, welcome. Oh, James is here, interstate inmate. Let's see if we can get him on here too. James, I just sent you an invite. Let me know if that came through or not.
Everyone double tap the screen. Send Sam a heart.
Hey, James.
Good morning.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you guys.
Happy New Year's.
So we got the whole crew on now. I like that. We've got Sarasota, Florida, Susie BQ, Linda Hutton 302 from Tennessee. So, James, what did you do for New Year's?
I went to Alexandria, Minnesota. Ended up playing, what do you call those? The bags where you throw and you go to the hole. Cornhole, I think.
Cornhole. Yep.
Yep, played that. Tested out some Soviet Union drinks. Got involved with the Russians, so it was a good time.
Oh, good for you. Did you make it to the ball drop?
I did.
Wow. My hat's off to you guys, man. I made it to midnight. Well, I'm in California, but I made it to the New York midnight. And that was about it.
We had salmon, and I don't know what that gal made with the butter and the garlic, but that sauce that went with the salmon was just outrageous. It was unbelievable.
Wow, that sounds wonderful. I love garlic, man. I eat a lot of garlic.
Great night. Everybody was safe. Unlike that problem they had down in New Orleans, that was quite a horrific thing.
Yeah, so Alex and I talked about that a little bit this morning. So I'm just a little suspicious. You've got Dan Scavino posting about thunderstorms. You have 4 separate lightning strikes that were caught in DC, New York, and 2 other places. And then the truck that the person supposedly drove was a lightning truck. I don't know, man. It just seems something suspicious there to me.
Yeah, there's quite a few videos starting to surface of what all went down. You know, regardless of hows and whys, there's 10 people out there that have loved ones that are starting 2025 in a pretty bad spot. So,
Yeah. I mean, it's true. If they did get killed, then God help them and their families is all I can say.
Other things not being covered in the news, explosions in Berlin last night. I mean, there's 2025 is going to roll in with the bang, man.
Yeah.
It's just coming.
Did you see that picture that Dan Scavino posted where he's about ready to flick the testicles of a tiger?
Yeah.
That was classic. I loved it.
Yeah. The other good one was CNN's New Year's Eve. Have you seen that clip? I can't even think of her name.
Oh, where the reporter is roasting liberals, like
oh my dude,
political jokes.
Oh, it's fantastic. And she said something about 3,000 viewers, which is more than CNN gets now, and Anderson Cooper standing right next to her. Oh my God, it was hysterical, dude. Like, she called a spade a spade. It was fantastic, and I can't believe CNN let that roll. Like, it was pretty spectacular.
The jokes that were told basically was, well, it's funny, the liberals support pro-choice, but they didn't have a choice when it comes to Kamala Harris being their candidate for president.
Yeah.
She must be manufactured by Pfizer or Moderna.
Oh yeah, so good.
Yeah.
Well, like, I'm gaining publicity. I usually gain more than 3,000 attendees in my audience, which is more than the CNN viewership.
Yeah, they're all done and they know it. So we have a couple of additional people. Mike Thornhill from Nashville, Tennessee. Welcome, Mike.
Whitney Cummings, that's her name. Sorry.
That's okay. Terry Genie, Happy New Year from Middle Tennessee. Welcome. Granny Jen, Happy New Year. Brandy Vic Roy Larson, I think it is. There are no coincidences. I agree, Brandy. Something's a little crazy. And then Sasha Girl just posted about, did you guys see about the cyber truck in front of Trump Tower in Vegas blew up?
Really?
Yep.
That was intentionally set on fire. They have determined.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
Wow. Kathy Heidkamp said, and God help the Democrats for letting all these people in here. They're going to go down. Well, Kathy, I think you're right. I think the Democrat Party as we know it is all done going forward. What do you guys think?
Oh, the two-party system.
Right. We're moving into a brave new world, man. How many more days do we have until and did you see they're going to have Carter lying in, what is that called? Lying in wait or lying in something?
Lying in state.
Lying in state on I believe it's the 9th, and that's right in between the Electoral College certification and the inauguration. What do you guys make of that?
Convenient.
What do you think?
I think that there's something up with that. I just the fact that he supposedly died when he did, and they rolled him out, and this is all happening. I don't know, man. Those dates are suspect to me. I don't know what it means.
We've got confirmations coming up. We've got certification coming up, inauguration coming up. Personally, I think that we're about to start watching the shenanigans unfold. It's been too quiet for too long. They're going to do everything in their power to make sure that the constitutional timing is interrupted. We're through the holidays, and it's time for them to get down to business.
Well, like you said last time, Alex, you know, a caged animal is dangerous, and I think they're in a box, and they don't know something. I believe something, a catalyzing event is going to take place. I think it'll happen before the inauguration. What that is and when it is, I have no idea, but something's coming.
Well, I've trained dogs since I was, 17, 18 years old professionally. I'm 51 now, and I'll tell you that I am not scared of an angry dog because I know what an angry dog's going to do by watching his eyes.
Mm-hmm.
But I am terrified of a frightened dog because they are unpredictable. You don't know when or where or how they're going to snap or bite. They're overcome with fear, and that's dangerous. And I mean, it's a great metaphor for right now. You see the desperation in the messaging. It's strange times, my friend. Strange times.
I agree. Nanner said, "Happy New Year, Sam. Happy New Year, Nanner. Mr. Fantastic. Happy New Year. Same to you, Mr. Fantastic."
Do you think anything could happen as far as the electoral vote certification? Do you think any foul play could happen there?
I think that they are going to look. We have a new variant of something out there, right? What if a bunch of them are sick and can't show up? Well, then we can't go through the process, which delays it. And I mean, it's anybody's game right now. Who knows what's going to happen? But it's been too quiet for too long, and I think I think more significantly, the lightning strikes and those things from Dan Sabina's post is like the storm's here. Like, Get ready. It's here. It's not coming. It's now here.
Yeah, I would agree. I agree with that. Next Moon said deportation coming up. Christy Todd Love, Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Christy. Nice to see you. Joby Woo, good morning. Nice to see you. Catherine Cooker said pray. I think there's a lot of wisdom in that. Amen. Deb, oh, hey, Deb J's here. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Deb. Deb J said, I worked lockdown psych for 27 years, and you always keep an open space just in case. Interesting. We have so
nothing is going to happen. If it was, it would have already happened.
Yeah, I don't believe that. I think there's more coming. James, what do you think? What's your perspective on it?
I think I'm going to sit back and wait. I don't really I don't know. I'm all I know is today XRP is up quite a ways.
Yep.
Very happy about that.
Yeah.
I don't really
give it 6 months.
I think it needs 19 more days.
Yeah, I think we're about ready to hit that exponential jump. We'll see how it plays out, but I think you're right. Hey, everybody on TikTok, if you would double tap the screen. We are trying to reach a goal of 25 hat and mustache. It just raises my my level on TikTok so we can reach more people. If you could do that, and if you're on YouTube, X, or Rumble, please give me the positive affirmation button. I would appreciate it. And if you are on one of the other platforms, if you can send me a text or a message in the chat, let me see if that's working. That would be great. So,
Cynthia Ramsey, I'm warning you. If you keep trolling, you will be banned off the room. Cynthia Ramsey, this is your one warning.
Okay, thanks, Ronnie. Joby Woo said it's the beginning of something. Well, I think we're in the middle of it. Sasha Girl said they're not done. I agree. Patty Bear 56 said, ready for the red tide to roll in. Prepare for Dems to throw down every block possible. I think there's some wisdom in that. I think they're gonna. I don't know how much juice they have left, but I think there's something coming, and I think it'll probably be before the inauguration. You guys hear that noise in the background?
Somebody's at a casino.
Oh, nice. Put it down on black 7 or black red 7.
I'm sorry, guys. I think that was my son watching cartoons. I lowered it.
Oh, that's okay. No big deal. No big deal at all. Scott said, what's coming? Well, Scott, my opinion is that there's going to be exposure to 2020, in my opinion. And you have to have a catalyzing event to kick that off. Is that, there's two schools of thought. One is that the deep state has a lot of muscle and they're going to still be able to do something. The other is maybe it's a controlled narrative by the Patriots to wake up the rest of the population. I don't know which way it is at this point, but I think there's going to be a catalyzing event, just like we had with the Gulf of Tonkin for Vietnam, just like we had the Pearl Harbor for the World War. Hey, we got Jody Wu just sent a hat and mustache. Thank you, Jody. I think there's going to be a catalyzing event because there's still enough people in the population here that have to be woken up. What do you guys think?
You got to bake the people to wake the people.
Yeah, it's a good way to put it.
I think that if you follow the mainstream narrative, it would have you believe one thing, but when you look at the sheer number of counties that we saw in the 2024 election, I believe we are at, if not past that 80%.
I believe so too. I think the majority of America is conservative. I think that there's many more conservatives than there are liberals, but I still think there's a certain percentage of the population that has not woken up. And I think that's even some of the MAGA people, I think they're MAGA. I think they're pro-America, but I don't think they're as attuned to what's been going on in our government in terms of nefarious activities for decades. And those people have to be woken up. Otherwise, you have the possibility of civil war.
I agree.
Agreed.
But
It's a wake-up call to unite the people of America.
The Civil War thing, to me, I think is the wet dream of the Dems, and it's not going to happen. I don't see in any possible scenario that coming to fruition. When you have that 80% mark that we talked about, or better, we know that whatever provocation they're going to come at, we know, and we're not going to be duped into it. We're not going to be duped into the N1H1. We're awake. We're awake, folks.
I agree. I think a lot of us are, but what percentage is still not awake is my question. And I don't know, again, what that number is, but I think that there's enough people that we have to wake up still.
Even if the number was only 5%, that 5% is very crucial to wake them up and to unify with them.
Yeah.
But reality check, there is a percentage. I'm going to use my analogy. You ready?
Look.
There is a percentage that is never, ever, 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 ever going to see things any differently than they see it now, no matter what you do. If mainstream media came on tonight and said we're being invaded by aliens, you need to insert a corn cob where the sun doesn't shine. Guaranteed that percentage of the population would be walking sideways tomorrow morning.
I agree.
You're right. You are right.
I absolutely agree, Alex. I just don't know what that number is at this point.
I am inclined to believe that we're well north of 80%, if not approaching 90. Again, there are a lot of well-intentioned, hardworking Americans that get up every morning, put their pants on, and go to work. They come home, they eat dinner with their family, they turn on the nightly news, and that's all they know. And they don't have the inclination or the aspirations to enlighten themselves to anything other than that different reality that they exist in. And I don't think that's ever going to change. Trump derangement syndrome, it's a real thing. And you're not going to cure that. It's never going to be fixed. He can come back in and he can turn this whole ship around
and prosperity for all and the golden age and all of that, and there will still be people drinking out of their gold cups because of him cursing him, you know?
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree TDS is a real thing, but I think those numbers have dwindled. I think there's a lot of people that have woken up from that. But again, we don't know at this point what those numbers are. Jeff Jones said the largest part of the people are still not awake. I don't know if it's the largest part or not, Jeff, but Share 333 said we won't be duped into war, but there are still those that are semi-clueless. I agree. There is still a lot of some of the population that's asleep. But again, Patty Bear said, I would expect widespread small events to distract from whatever major action they put in play. And that's another thing too. Maybe it's not one major catalyzing event or horrific event. Maybe it's multiple things over multiple locations. I don't know.
It's an interesting statement by Cynthia Ramsey.
Cynthia Ramsey just got booted. I have to block her because she keeps trolling.
Okay, thanks, Ronnie. So everybody on TikTok, if you would, double tap that screen. We're trying to reach the goal of 25 hat and mustaches. If you can do it, great. That'd be appreciated. And on X, Rumble, and YouTube, if you could give us the positive affirmation sign, that would be great. Oh, we've got some messages here on the other stream, you guys. Let me see here. It says, KDL 6785 said that they declared a state of emergency in New Orleans, and also the games have been postponed. Do you guys know anything about that?
I never heard anything
on that yet.
Yeah, I don't know.
I heard about the state of emergency, but I didn't hear about the games being postponed.
I thought the NFL said that the Super Bowl would not be. Let me look here real quick.
Well, I'm guessing that they're talking about games today, right? Are there games today?
Yeah, the Super Bowl is in Vegas, and that's a month away.
Yeah, I don't think they're talking about the Super Bowl, but I don't know.
I didn't mean to say super. I just meant bowl games.
Yeah.
Are they talking about the Rose Bowl? No.
I'm not
Maybe
sure what.
college games.
Maybe it could be college games. Hey, Chuck Humphrey just joined. Hi, Chuck. Welcome.
It's a Sugar Bowl.
It's what?
It was the Sugar Bowl.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense.
And they postponed it today?
Yeah. Thanks, Coach Ed. That was good input.
Oh, excellent. TQ said that he thinks it's 70-30 and more need to wake up. I think those are probably fairly accurate numbers, maybe 70-30, 80-20, I don't know, 65-35. But I think we're in
there's 350 million Americans, give or take, and 70 million voted for Kamala, and everybody else voted for Trump. So,
well, I don't believe
about 25%.
I don't believe for a second that Kamala got 70 million votes. No way. No way.
Charlie Kirk just posted breaking news. Authorities confirmed that 4 to 5 other suspects were involved in New Orleans, in addition to the actual person, Mr. Jabbar, whatever his name is.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Let's see. So we got a lot of things here. Let me get caught up on some of these guys. Let's see. No one is elected. Rodney Martin said, no one is elected. They're selected. They're playing both sides. You're right. We have got to have more election integrity. Absolutely. I agree. Cynthia's gone. Oh, great. Thanks, James, for doing that. Lowell Johansson said game was postponed for 24 hours. Rodney Martin said bread and circuses is so true. That's what professional sports reminds me of today. Keep the people happy, give them some food. It's just crazy. Coach Ed said it was the Sugar Bowl. Is that what we said earlier?
Yes.
Okay. So they're only postponing it for a day, it looks like. Joy said, yes, the game was postponed. Sugar Bowl, 24 hours. Yep. Okay. Coach Ed said the same thing. Is the Super Bowl in New Orleans or is it in Vegas this year?
Vegas next month.
Oh, it is Vegas?
Yes.
I drove by that stadium a few months ago. I couldn't believe it, man. That thing's pretty awesome looking.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, SoFi Stadium is pretty nice too, but that Vegas one, it's all black glass. It looks pretty nice.
Yeah, I was pretty impressed with it too. Briggy said that the Super Bowl's in New Orleans, but I don't think that's correct.
Nope, it's in Vegas.
Yeah, Mike said probably because the Bourbon Street incident. Yeah, I'm guessing that's why they did it. Briggy said the elite only care for themselves. Very true, but they're being exposed now. And NorCal said that it was postponed until Thursday. Interesting. Well, wait, today is Wednesday. That's right. It would be tomorrow. I'm all right, huh? Jeez.
Sean Ryan just chimed in. I told you this was coming. Sarah Adams told you this was coming. Rooftop Leader told you this was coming. Real Legend AFG told you this was coming. Ahmad Musad told you this was coming. Congress funded it. You heard it on my show. We warned them. We warned you. Nobody did a thing. Man, this is what we talked about, Sam.
Yeah.
We want to believe that Patriots are in control, but man, there's still a lot of money flowing in the direction of people that shouldn't be getting United States money.
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely, I agree.
I just went on the NFL website, and I apologize. The Super Bowl is going to be played at the Caesar Dome February 9th in New Orleans, Louisiana.
Yeah, that's what Joy said. She said that it was it's not in Vegas, it's in New Orleans. That's where she lives. Thank you, Joy, for
I apologize. I don't know why I heard a few people say Vegas, so I went with it, but no, it is New Orleans.
Yeah, okay. It's not a big deal. Subi Q says, I keep thinking it's Friday, it's Saturday. I feel the same way, Susie. I'm all turned around on my days. That's Briggy said that's why Lil Wayne is mad they chose Kendrick Lamar to perform. I don't know anything about that. I'm not much of a sports guy. What do they mean by that?
Lil Wayne is from New Orleans. He's the superstar of New Orleans as a rapper.
Oh.
But they chose Kendrick Lamar to perform the halftime shows over Lil Wayne.
Oh,
apparently.
gotcha. Mike said the Dems are trying to create an event to keep Trump from being inaugurated. Well, I think that there's some sort of a plan to try and put a monkey wrench in the works. But again, I don't know how successful they'll be, and how much of it is, I just don't know how much we're seeing is actually happening versus the narrative that they want to push forward. But again, I don't know. I'm just asking questions because I'm just not sure. Everybody, if you would, like Deb said, please double tap the screen on TikTok. If you can send a hat and mustache, we're trying to reach 25. That would be great. If not, we totally understand. And if you're on, Alex, looks like we've got the biggest crowd we've had so far on the other platforms.
Nice. I sent you a hat and mustache earlier, but you were looking at the other screen.
Oh, thank you. Great.
Yeah, buddy.
So, so I think there is going to be one or more events. What that's going to be, I don't know. But the thing about the New Orleans thing, hey, we got another hat and mustache. Thank you, James. So the thing about the New Orleans thing is I have not seen any footage of the actual event taking place. I've only seen at the aftermath. Now, if it is true and if people were hurt and killed, I'm like, God rest their souls and their family.
There are some videos I've seen of when the actual call was placed to the police. There's a group of probably 10 to 15 police that went into Bourbon Street to take off running. I think it's going to take some time for people to upload, and what of those uploads are going to be censored.
Well, that's true too. That maybe they're censoring it.
There's a video that I'm seeing now where they actually show security cam footage of the truck before it entered Bourbon Street as it turns around. So that's prior to the event. It's going to take some time for that information to flow out.
Well, and that's the other thing too, though, Alex, is what about the lady that supposedly set herself on fire? That wasn't censored. And when have you ever seen somebody who's been set on fire just stand there? It just looks suspicious to me. Oh, we got Rosie just sent a hat and mustache. Thank you, Rosie. Appreciate it. But when have you ever seen somebody lit on fire just stand there? Not scream, not yell, not move. It just seemed suspicious.
Crazy.
People walk on hot coals and don't scream. I mean,
come on, man. Walk on hot coals and they don't scream. Oh, you're dreaming now, pal.
you've seen the people the coal
Oh
walkers?
yeah. I know, but come on, somebody set you on fire. You're not going to be flailing around, rolling on the ground, screaming.
Wait, did she set herself on fire?
Around she's consumed, but yes.
Yeah, I don't
Did
know.
she set herself on fire, or she was put on fire?
Who knows? I don't really know, but the fact that she was just standing there with herself on fire, something doesn't add up there.
What about the guy who set himself on fire like a year and a half ago? That was strange.
Yeah, I don't remember. I remember it happening, but I don't remember what it was like at this point. Yo, and Subi Q said, and no one helped the lady on fire. Right. I just don't see that happening. I know that if I saw somebody on fire, my first instinct would be to rush over there and help. Dan said paid actors. And Dan, you're exactly right. That's what I keep thinking. I keep thinking of the crisis actors from 2020. How many times do we see people in body bags, and then you see the video footage a little later and they're zipping out of those body bags? I don't know, man. I could be completely wrong. God forbid that anybody was hurt, or if they were, God help them. But I don't know, man. It just seems strange to me.
You know what seems strange to me? You know these videos you see on TikTok of like people in Palestine where there's hundreds of missiles in the sky and they're like 1 block away from where they explode, but they have time to calmly record the video?
Yeah.
That's if I see a missile coming out of the sky a mile away, I'm running backward.
Yeah, no kidding, man. You're jumping in your car and getting the hell out of there.
Realistically, Ronnie, that while that may be a truth for you, we have to understand that these people live with this every day.
Well,
Like
that's true.
there's a TikTok guy. There's a guy here that's in Syria. He's a young man, 22 plus years old. He plays the piano and entertains people. His name's Rami. Super nice kid, right? And when everything broke out over there, I sent him a message and was like, "Hey, hope everything is okay. You and your family are well," because he was live, and you could literally hear the machine gun fire right outside his apartment window. And he's like completely unaffected by it. He's like, "Yeah, I mean, it happens all the time. This is just our way of life here." So I don't think it's so far-fetched for people that are in that environment and have lived and grown up in that environment of a war-torn country to literally not be affected by it. Like, oh, okay, here we go again, right?
But hundreds of missiles, dozens of missiles falling out of the sky like raindrops.
I mean,
I see Alex's point. I see his point. If you're in that environment on a regular basis, who knows how you might.
I literally heard probably 500 or more rounds on his live, like legit, and people were like, "What the hell is that?" And he's like, they're fighting in the street below my apartment." What?
Right.
I mean, and he's like, just talking like we are right now. He's like, "Yeah, it happens all the time."
That's like Compton. Okay, I'm from LA. That's like Compton. Gunfire there or pew pew fire there is nothing. But assault rifles versus bombs and all these crazy missiles, that's a big world of difference.
I get it, but they live in a war-torn country. Like half the buildings around his apartment complex are rubble.
Right.
Right? That's their reality.
Well, what's interesting is Dan just made a post. He said, "Tell a vision, the Truman Show." And I think there are times when that happens. And I'm not saying this is what happened in New Orleans, but I'm saying that does happen. We have had crisis actors. We've had things take place that are, not very believable in my opinion. Let me do some house cleaning here, guys. We've got Bafternoon said, "Sam, love your videos, buddy, from Massachusetts. God bless and Happy New Year." Same to you, Baftertunes. Mike said, "Is it true we have Russian warships 300 miles off the coast of Florida?" I'm not surprised, because we had a nuclear Russian submarine docked in Cuba a few months ago. You guys remember that?
Wow.
So, it wouldn't surprise me if I think personally that there is a multinational military operation taking place right now. And I won't get into any other detail with that because of the restrictions here. I got to be careful. But I think there's much more going on behind the scenes than we realize.
And I haven't seen anything as far as news headlines about that since back in June.
Okay. Yeah. No, I haven't heard anything new, but Mike said it's 300 off Florida, which is possible. I just don't know.
Maybe that's what corroborates with these drones, because there is a theory that these drones are U.S. military searching for nuclear weaponry.
Yeah. Rosie said, where are we on the EBS thing? Well, your guess is as good as mine, Rosie. I don't know if it's going to happen. I would like to think that it would, but who knows? I have no idea. Dan came out and said, we didn't land on the moon either. So that's a whole nother rabbit hole. What do you guys, I'm really curious, James, Alex, Ronnie, what's your perspective on the moon thing?
Never happened.
What's that?
Never happened.
Buzz Aldrin says it never happened. He was in a school, and a little girl asked Buzz Aldrin, what was it like to walk on the moon? He goes, I don't know. We were never there. So, the whole acting thing, New Mexico, painted rocks, tinfoil. I mean, I've been to Cape Kennedy, Cape Canaveral. I've taken the whole NASA hike and bus tour, and you can't tell me some of those machines actually rolled around on the moon. They're made out of tinfoil.
Well, what I find interesting is there's a lot of things I find interesting about it, but if you have that Land Rover or whatever it was that they rode around on, how did that machine be part of that little capsule that landed on the moon? That doesn't make sense to me. Was it in pieces? I don't think so. There's just not enough room on it. Alex, you're being awfully quiet on this subject.
I believe that there is a portion of what transpired that was created because of the immense pressure to be the first, to beat the USSR, a lot of those things. But I do believe that there has been a significant amount of what's the word I'm looking for? Staging,
okay.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
But on the flip side of that, we have the Apollo disasters, and we have some other things that are real. But then you watch a TikTok video, and all of the people that were on the Challenger that I watched in 6th grade explode apparently are still walking around. So
exactly. No, it's their twins. They're saying some of them are twins, some of them are related. It's all
the same name. Come on.
Yeah, it's bullshit. I agree. Excuse my language.
I think I've shared some of her videos with you, Shipwreck.
Oh yeah, she's great.
Oh, I absolutely adore her.
Yeah.
And she brought up a really interesting topic the other day, and she's like, what happens when we reach a point in humanity where we believe nothing? We don't believe the truth. We don't believe the lies. We just don't believe anything, and that complacency and that numbness. So, I think in any of the headlines or any of the rabbit holes or conspiracy theories or things that are out there, using discernment and trusting our own intuition and our own, whether you call it Holy Spirit, God, deity, whatever those things are, I think we're entering into a time that we all really, really need to turn inward and understand the feelings that we're having, because it affects all of us differently. There's people that are extremely depressed and in a bad spot, given the fact that it's the holidays, for one. And then we have these things happening in New Orleans and other places that just further add to that doom and gloom. The doom and gloom sells. It pushes the algorithm. It gets views. And that's why, Sam, your show is it's not doom and gloom. You're just putting out there your energy, your light in a positive way. Hey, here's the things that I'm seeing. Be a judge for yourself, right? It's not pushing the narrative. And so that's what drew me to your show in the first place and your daily dispatch. Like, it just, people need to use discernment and slow down, take a deep breath, and you know, take care of yourself and your family first. It's important. Looking at the events that have happened, have a triage kit, have a tourniquet. In the event that something happens, have some things ready for yourself. Preparedness is, it doesn't make you crazy. It doesn't make you a conspiracy theorist. You know, we have 25 pounds of rice, of beans, of sugar, of flour. We have gallons of vodka, you know, things that well, not to drink, but for antiseptic purposes,
Oh, okay.
for fuel and lantern purposes, it's cheap. It's cheap, right? You know, and so it doesn't hurt, because I do live very rural, and it's very often that we spend 2, 3, 4 days without power. So I think about these things separate from all the world events that could possibly happen, EMPs, nukes, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't hurt to have a little preparedness, a little discernment. You know, when the power goes out here, Allie and I both look at each other and we're like, oh, is this it? Is it happening? Like, is it gonna? Yeah, no, it was out for 30 minutes. Damn it, that's not.
Yeah, I know. I agree, Alex. And I'm living here in California with, you know, earthquakes. And what do? I mean, I have dehydrated food that'll last for 25 years. I have water stored. I have different things set in place just in case, because I think that's a wise choice. Hey, you guys, let me do a little house cleaning here. We've got, Dan said we've been lied to all our lives. I think there's a lot of truth in that. Patty Bear 56 said we've had subs at least off the Pacific Northern Coast since the 60s. I would agree with that. Enzo Rocco said never happened. I'm not sure. I'm assuming you're talking about the moon landing. Kat said they left the cameraman behind. That's another thing. Who was filming it? If that was the first man on the moon stepping on for the first time, who was filming it then? I don't know. They're just questions to ask. I don't know if we have any answers or not. But Dan said television, correct? Hypnotized.
Maybe it was his twin.
Kat said they all had twins. Yeah, exactly. Talking about the Challenger. Mike said there's definitely something big coming. I agree. And then we've had several people send some hearts, and G. Nasser sent a heart. Great. Thank you so much. You're moving up on the leader team. We've had Derek Christina said, well, I mean, you could drink some. I'm assuming she's talking about your vodka, Alex.
The vodka? Yeah.
Kat said, sure, Alex, antiseptic purposes, right. She's got your number, Alex. Kat's got your number.
No, I'm not a clear liquor guy. I'm more of the bourbon type, okay?
Okay. Oh, Martin Q. Riggs sent a hat and mustache. Thank you so much, Martin. Appreciate it. Dan said, Puerto Rico, the grid is down. Yeah, I read about that yesterday. I don't know if it's still down. Have you guys heard anything?
I haven't.
James, have you heard anything on that Puerto Rico thing?
I have not. Matter of fact, I was doing some digging on the warships. I'm not finding anything on it right now.
Okay, what about Russia Today? They usually have some pretty good info.
Didn't go there yet.
Okay.
25% of Puerto Rico remains in the dark right now.
Oh, wow. Hey, you guys, will you carry on for a second? I'm going to make a run real quick. I'll be right back.
I wonder what's happening in the Caribbean, because Cuba, a month ago, the power was out. Now it's Puerto Rico. So maybe, just maybe, those Russian warships or whatever are causing those power grids off the coast of Florida, which is Cuba and Puerto Rico and the Caribbean islands.
Don't know. Well, we also had an X-class solar flare that happened. Aurora Borealis, the northern lights, were able to be seen night before and last night as late as far south as Nebraska. So there are coincidences that happen when we do have those X-class solar flares. So I mean, you know, who knows? Who knows?
Makes sense. By the way, folks, if you would like, please follow me and Alex. Feel free to send some contributions to support White Dudes for Harris.
Nice.
Easy.
Okay, I heard somebody laughing. What happened?
Oh, Ronnie went on his White Dudes for Harris trip again.
Oh, no. Ronnie, I thought we had to talk about that, huh? Okay, so let's see here, guys. Let me get caught up here a little bit. Hazel said she's thinking the same thing. Chuck's back. Welcome back, Chuck. Dan said, I followed you guys. Excellent. Yeah, hey, everybody on TikTok, if you would, double tap the screen. And if you would, follow everybody who's on the show here. We're trying to get them all live, and they've got to have 1,000 followers. So if they don't already have them, and you can go and follow them, that would be great. That's Interstate Inmate, The Real Alex, and Ronnie_LA1. That would be great.
Please do it before TikTok is banned.
Yeah, no, that's not going to happen, man. I that's just not an issue. President Trump wouldn't have come on the platform if they were going to ban it.
Look, you've got 170 million Americans using this. The reason that this bill is even got the traction that it's got is because they picked the largest platform to pick on. And if you read through the bill, it has absolutely nothing to do with this platform. It's a bigger picture, folks.
Right.
It's a censorship push.
I agree.
That sounds legit.
April said she followed you all. Great. Thank you so much, April.
Thank you, April. Sam, any update on the development of what's being built in that structure in front of the Capitol?
You mean in front of the White House?
Yeah.
No, I'm assuming that it has to do. What's that?
So there's a TikTok creator, Nancy Drew. She takes a walk through DC daily, and she goes by each of the locations and these things. She actually talks to the Capitol Police and these things. What's being built is actually part of. There are multiple events that day, right? On inauguration, you have the big one at the in front of the monument and the Capitol building, right? The National Mall. And then there are further proceedings that do end up happening at the White House. She showed yesterday that there were large glass panels being installed in that structure at the White House, most likely bulletproof glass. So I there's a lot of, I'm putting air quotes up, you can't see, people that think that, gallows are being built and I don't think that's the reality. Folks.
Yeah, I don't think so either, but I mean, we can only hope, right?
So basically, it's just like a nice looking platform for the inauguration. Hopefully.
Yeah.
So portions of the inauguration ceremonies do take place at the White House. You have when the first family shows up and the press has to have a place to sit and do. And I think that it's most likely being built in preparation for those type of things happening. They have a place for the press. They have a place that the Secret Service can funnel people and vet people and make sure that look, that dude has the biggest target on his back of any man in the history of the world ever right now.
Absolutely agree.
And so I think that there's an immense amount of preparation and planning, both on his part and on each of the supporting arms. He's not taking intel from them. I mean, look at all the things he's doing to ensure that what he's doing is not going to be known by anyone he doesn't want to know it.
Yeah, I agree. Mike, so Lisa said, I honestly get more news on TikTok. It's very true. KWE Knee Janet said another control tactic. I agree. Miss Karen said she followed you all as well. Thank you so much. Subi Q said she's hoping it's the gallows. I know, so did Kat. But again, I don't think that's probably not realistic, but who knows? CJ said correct. It's a censorship push to keep the people from communicating and sharing of information. I agree. Deb J said, let's tap. Let's get up to 25,000 a day. That would be great. Deb J said she loves Nancy Drew. Yeah, I too do. Deb, I've been following her for years. She's her and also Richard, citizen journalist. He does a lot of the same type of stuff.
Yep. Praying Medic used to also, but
yeah, Dave's kind of dropped off of the main grid. I think he's really gone in the direction of, he thinks that we're going to have, we're going to be going back to the Stone Age, and he's thinking that that's the direction we're going. I don't agree with that, but who knows? He could be right. Cass said,
"You're the man. You're the Larry King Live of TikTok."
Yeah, right. Sure. What do you mean? I'm old and wrinkled. Thanks a lot, Ronnie.
I didn't mean it like that. You mentioned it. Yeah.
That Hazel said it's an event. Of course, there's construction and planning going on. Yeah, that's critical thinking, Hazel. I think you're probably right. Again, we can only hope. But Kat said the gallows would be in Gitmo. That's probably true too. Hazel said the news covers a cat stuck in a tree, but they don't report things in the sky for over a month. Yeah, I know. Things in this. Janet said things in the sky are a distraction. I agree. I think that's typical for the media and for the government. Tell you to look to the left when they're doing something in the right. I mean, that's just my opinion.
Speaking of the government, what do you think of Kamala Harris running for governor in 2026?
Oh God!
Because we're both Californians, and I don't know, man.
Yeah, there's no way unless they've got it rigged to such a high degree. There's no way she would even get any kind of votes. No way.
Even in California, with a lot of libs still out here.
No, we are mostly conservative in California, no matter what the mainstream media says, in my opinion. Here's a good one. Mike wants to know, and I want to ask Alex specifically because I know you made a post about this yesterday. Alex, what are your thoughts on the so-called fog? And for anybody who doesn't know, if you go to Alex's profile, look at it yesterday, it'll give you a little hint of what he thinks. But go ahead, Alex.
Man, I kind of had a moment because I'm watching these fall videos, and last month it was the moon is gone. Has anybody seen the moon? And the asteroid events. And look, the world has been going to end since the beginning of time, right? So the fear mongering, it's got to stop. I mean, it's got to stop. I don't think that it's unimaginable that in the winter months, okay, we're in December and January, that when a warm front moves across the earth from the west to the east, dipping down towards the equator, that we have copious amounts of fog. You have moisture being pumped up out of the Gulf or off of the Atlantic Ocean into the UK, and that moisture creates condensation when it's met with cold air and warm air. I had a lady that put a post, well, the United States has a patent on fog. Yes, they do, since 1951. And if you go read that patent, you'll understand that it's about the creation of fog. I don't argue the fact that there are things being put into the atmosphere that shouldn't. I don't argue the fact that there are weather manipulation patents and tactics, and for God's sake, it rained in Saudi Arabia on command. Like, it snowed in places it's not supposed. Yes, I believe they're doing things, but everybody picks up this torch of chaos and they run with it. Like, I mean, if I walked outside and I flicked my Bic and lit a flame and the fog exploded, okay, then we've got a problem.
Right, exactly. James, what do you think?
Oh, I agree 110%. For me today, it's listening to the comments, watching the comments come by. I agree 110%. It's for today. It's going to be the same tomorrow. It's going to be the same the day after. We have people that talk about this fog and they say, you want to see something strange? Go pull the filters in your furnace. Go see the difference in the dirt, in the dust. Well, if you really want to see the difference, go open your vehicle and pull an air filter out of your car or your pickup truck, and you can see a difference. I went and pulled out. I don't see anything different in mine, and it's been foggy here for a month.
Oh, interesting.
It's crazy, to think that there is a lot of moisture in the air. Alex is right. There's moisture in the air. We have a cold front meeting a warm front. We have the ground that's warmer than the air. I mean, something's going to happen. Right. Is there a lot of moisture in the air for the winter months? Yes. And it's all across the country. It's not uncommon. We had fog yesterday. We're going to have fog tomorrow.
Yeah.
And the UK is always foggy.
Yeah, that's true.
Climate, okay, air quotes again, climate change is now the new tag, right? We went from we're all going to freeze to death to, the world's going to catch fire and burning up to now neither one of those things happened in my lifetime, so it's now called climate change.
Very true.
We have a polar vortex that is dipping down as we speak. The Midwest is going to see -10, -20, not counting wind chills over the next few days. Like, these things happen in cycles. And if you look at solar cycles and understand what's happening from a perspective of, we have the flares. We were talking, I think you stepped away. We were talking about the power outages and things with solar. We had a X-class solar flare in the Northern Lights. In the last year, we've been able to see in Kansas 3 or 4 times. And that's a rare event. But with that comes a degradation of the ozone and a heating and a cooling pattern. And I mean, I'm not a meteorologist. I think the weatherman is the only job in the world you can be wrong all the time and keep your job.
True.
But, it's folks, again, this is where we use discernment, use some judgment. Just because there's 50 people on an app going, oh my God, the sky is falling. Step outside, look up.
Right.
Well, it's always been foggy in London, right? Nobody's ever questioned fog in London.
Until now.
Right. And it's been foggy in London as long as I can remember. There's fog in London. That's where it's always been foggy. Just because there's fog in Minnesota or there's fog in Dallas, Texas, or somewhere in Florida, it's normal. Why does it all of a sudden now have to be a thing?
Right.
I think it's because it's becoming very dramatic. Like, okay, here in Southern California, I'm up at 6:30 a.m. in the morning. It's so foggy, you can't see the street lights. It's 46 degrees. I drop my son off to school. A couple hours later, around 12 o'clock in the afternoon, it's bright as could be, sunny and 79 or 80 degrees. Like, I was driving on the freeway last week. It's foggy, can't see the car in front of you, but then as soon as you pass the 91 freeway, it's as clear as day, like a normal day in Southern California.
Right.
Well, California, you've got Thule fog, which is when the air on top of the ground is cooler than the ground itself, and so the moisture comes up out of the ground. I lived in California, outside of Madera, and I remember times that we'd go out on the farm, and you literally could not see your hand in front of your face. It was that thick.
Yep.
Man, use some discernment.
Yeah, I agree. So we had Lead 4250 said, crypto, electric cars, AI, putting traffic underground. I don't see enough electric to run everything. Well, I agree with you. I think the EV hoax was just that, a hoax, unless there is going to be some sort of alternate form of energy that's going to come out, whether it's Tesla energy, whether it's anaerobic technology, whether it's 0-point gravity. But I agree. I don't think those things are doable without some sort of new energy. What do you guys think about the whole new energy thing?
Absolutely.
Before we get into new energy, you brought up AI. Interesting story about the AI whistleblower Balaji that unalived himself, 26 years old. What about the federal judge that.
Oh yeah, yeah, just yesterday, right?
Yes,
I know that was it. Now there are some people, you know, there's supposed to be a unalive yourself weekend. Could that be this weekend?
I mean, I don't know, but a 26-year-old kid that was blowing the whistle on AI, his apartment was clearly ransacked. Clearly there was a struggle in the room where he reportedly, you know, it just, man.
Wait a minute. There was an unalive yourself weekend.
Yeah, there's
Oh, yeah.
yeah, there's a online. How can I say this? And there was an online message board that had been posting for a number of years. That said there was going to be a weekend where people were not going to continue their life specifically and for a specific reason. Now, that hasn't happened yet. Could this be it? It's possible.
Well, if your name's on a list and you know they're coming to pick you up,
yeah,
because we all know what happens to those type of perpetrators when they do get incarcerated.
Right.
So, I don't know, man.
I know.
Okay, back to energy. Yes, there's free energy in multiple ways, and I think that is an emerging technology that has been suppressed. There was a guy back in the 80s that built a device that converted water into hydrogen that piped it into his carburetor, and he had a Ford Mustang, 5.0 Mustang that was getting 100 miles to the gallon. The petroleum companies bought the patent, trashed it, and he could never talk about it again.
Wow.
I think there are free energy devices all over that are starting to happen. Now, where the argument starts to happen, because I have a friend that's in electrical engineering, he's like, well, perpetual energy doesn't exist. And I'm like, I'm not talking about perpetual energy.
Mm-hmm.
That's where it creates more energy than it takes to generate the energy. But I do believe that there are ways to create energy from something the size of a bread box, whether it's going to be using magnets and coils or the Tesla coils. If you look at Dr. Parkenstein on YouTube, young kid who actually built a large coil in his backyard, and he has videos of his subscribers when he turned it on, that they were able to tune their device to the same frequency and have LED lights light up hundreds of miles away. Like, legit, that's some real science. And
Right.
I tested as a freshman in college in 5th grade in science and math. This is my jam. I love science, and I can't wait for the science to come out. I can't wait.
I agree. There's been multiple people that have developed engines that run on water, and either they get bought out by big oil, or they mysteriously disappear, or they're never heard from again. I mean, it's just crazy with some of the things that have happened.
Well, it's if you just look on YouTube, there are hundreds of videos. YouTube University, right? I'm not any better at IT. I'm just better at Google. There are hundreds of videos out there showing how you use plastic and copper plates. You submerge them in deionized water and apply a small amount of current, and it will create hydrogen gas. And you take the hose, burp it over to your carburetor. It does improve gas mileage, and you can build them yourself DIY. There are some precautions to take in doing these things, because hydrogen, it's damned explosive. Like, it goes boom, big booms.
Yeah.
No, there are ways to do it. It's fascinating.
Yeah, I agree. And there's powers that be in this world that don't want to see that released.
Sorry. Question.
It takes away from their piggy bank, just like the powers that be don't want RFK Jr. out there talking about, like he is now, how had certain things not been suppressed, the warp speed program would have never happened.
Right. I know. There's way more going on behind the scenes than most people realize.
I've seen some comments called the 17th messenger board about that unaliving weekend.
Yeah.
Now, Sam, I know the number 17 represents the Patriots or an act of the Patriots. Do you think that corroborates or no?
Yeah, so I try to not use specific terms, but that's exactly it. There's a certain letter in the alphabet. There's The number that's associated with that is 17. And there are hundreds and hundreds of proofs that it's legitimate, in my opinion. But again, we have to be careful what we say and how we say it, because that is something that could get us shut down if we're not careful.
Sure, but I'm saying that site that you were talking about, do you believe that that was ran by the Patriots or has something to do with them?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Watchman 0001 said, yeah, Tesla coils were fun in the 7th grade. Plastic school chairs with steel frames. Girls sitting in front. I don't really know what that means, but it sounded like they had a good time with it. Oh, the rivets woke her up. Okay, got it.
Zap.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Alex, on the little boxes on the screen for you guys, it has numbers in the left-hand corner of 24.
That means that the viewers gave us coins as well.
Oh, wonderful. Oh, thanks, you guys. That's so wonderful. Thank you all for doing that.
Because you're the host of the box, you actually get a third of that.
Oh, that's really sweet. Thank you, everybody, for contributing. If you'll double-click that screen on TikTok, if you can send a GIF, it raises our ratings. It helps all the way around. That would be great. And if you're on Rumble, YouTube, or X, which we have the largest following watching live now, Alex, that we've ever had, if you can give us the positive affirmation button there, that would be great.
Uncle Sam always has to take a part of our cut.
Come on now, man. That wasn't intentional.
There you go. There's your cut.
There we go. Exactly. All right, guys. Well, I think we've had a good run today. It's been New Year's. We should probably let everybody get back to their families. What do you think?
I agree.
Agreed. I got to run anyway. So.
Okay, James, Alex, Ronnie, thank you all for being here as always. And everybody who's been part of this live, love you all. Happy New Year. Have a great day. And we'll see everybody soon.
All right. Happy New Year's, everybody. God bless.
Hope everyone has a blessed new year and you're surrounded by the love and prosperity and energy that you all deserve. Have a great day.
Amen. Thank you, Alex. Thanks, James. Thanks, Ronnie. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Sam.